Yep, I see record, so looks good.
Good morning, Dr. Tom Martin here, and I'm here with Brooks Brown of Sanusaer.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sanusaer. Good morning,
so
Tom. How are you today?
doing great. So here's the backstory. Every vendor that I'm choosing for this project, the Phoenix Dental project, um, I'm finding the most unique people who have great backstories, who are very focused on one particular thing. And so I'm going to have Brooks talk about how he got into the ozone disinfection business. So his is a little bit different. It's surface and air disinfection with ozone gas. And so Brooks, tell me a little bit of the backstory about how you and your partner got started.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Most people don't know anything about ozone, even though it's been around for many years since it started acting in the late 1800s. But what had happened is my business partner and I worked together in a large snack food business, and we had a devastating fire that burned down our entire production facility. And luckily, the sanitation people, which were there at the time, got all the fire doors down. But we had packaging material in one of the warehouses, and it got pretty severe smoke damage. So what had happened is the ODA, Ohio Department of Agriculture, came in and they actually quarantined that packaging material, the outer wrap of that snack, and said we couldn't use it. So the unfortunate thing was we had to figure out how to make that usable because it would have taken months to run new packaging, and we needed it immediately. So what we did is we researched this, and we found that ozone would oxidize the smoke odor. So we put this packaging material in semi-trailers overnight with ozone machines that we rented at the time, and it oxidized that smoke odor. The ODA came in basically the day after we did that and said, you know, what the heck you did, but this is now safe for use to package snacks. So basically it saved our business.
Wow.
And Dan and I used to travel quite a bit to go into trade shows and stuff. We were so fascinated with what its capabilities were. It took us about 10 years to say, we're going to launch this mainstream. We intended actually to license or franchise it in the service side, but then it's evolved through the years into actually manufacturing an even better high output ozone generator than our competition was doing. And so that's kind of where we're at today. We sell these online and doing very, very well.
Yeah, fantastic. So I just love this story because you wanted to build a better mousetrap. You looked at the actual generators that were out there, and you wanted to build one that was the Mercedes, the absolute best.
Absolutely, yeah.
So can you describe? You've got one behind you.
Sure, yeah, exactly. So here's actually our largest unit, what we call the SA 40,000. So the 40,000 is referring to the milligrams per hour of output, okay? And we have four sizes, a 10,000, a 20,000, 30,000, and 40. This one is different than most of the competition out there because the competition builds these in what I call a cannon style unit.
Right.
So it's bringing air with a computer fan in one side. It's blowing over top of the ozone plates and then blowing ozone out the other side. Ozone is heavier than air. So these things then needed elevated. And they were selling hangers for back doors. They were building platforms for these things and selling those. It's like, hang on a minute. If ozone's heavier than air, we need a different design to get it up in the air. So that's what we did. So let's build a much better mousetrap. So our units have, you see, one and then two fans. And what they're doing is they're pulling in the sides and blowing the ozone out of the top at a pretty good velocity, okay? So you don't necessarily have to elevate this thing, even though it maybe makes sense if you're capable of doing it. Because ozone, what will happen is it'll start high, it wafts down, goes to the floor, and then it builds up, okay?
Okay.
But this thing is very rugged, unlike some of our competitors. Our units have two settings, so this 40 can run at 20 or 40. So if you have a smaller space, you can use it for that. And then it's got a really convenient, it's very mobile. So we got a handle on the back.
Heavy duty.
It's got a circuit board inside, you know, etc. So this, it's like you said, it's a Mercedes of ozone generators out there. It's really top quality, used by a lot of commercial service companies.
So let's talk about the dental office in particular. You know, an average, I don't want to say an average, but average dental office is probably 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. So your models, your 20,000 milligrams per hour, that would be the model for 2,000 square feet?
So there's several factors to consider in that. In general, the rule of thumb is, again, like the 20,000 would be 2,000 square feet, or 30,000 would be 3. You're kind of in the middle there.
Okay.
So part of that relates to size of area, and it's more about cubic feet actually. So if they've got tall ceilings,
Right.
it might cause them to go to the 30, okay? So it's about surface area, level of pollutants, air movement, temperature, humidity, a lot of things. But in general, the 20 would be 2,000 square foot, the 30 would be 3. And I probably would recommend those are in the 2,500. You go up to the 30,000,
Okay.
just because you want a little more horsepower.
So let's talk about the treatment itself, because this is where, I told you about my little journey about learning about ozone. So ozone gas is an irritant to the lungs and to the eyes. If you were to, and so this treatment is done when no one is present in the office, right?
That is correct.
This is at the end of the day. So the 3 things that you say is no people, pets, or plants.
Correct.
And then it has a timer, and you run it for a couple of hours.
Okay, so this comes with a 24-hour timer, very simple to set up. And what we're recommending, we actually just aligned with a national franchise massage spa across the country, and they're doing the same thing. Their business is being reset on how you operate, just like the dental offices are going out.
Right.
So what we recommend is, look, you set this thing to go off every night, and they're open 7 days a week, by the way.
Okay.
And I recommend to have this turn on about midnight, and you're going to run it either 1 to maybe 2 hours tops. Okay. And then it shuts off. So you're setting this timer, so it's always going to come on at midnight and shut off about 1 or 2.
Okay.
And what happens then is that over those 2 hours, the ozone is going to start at the floor level and build up, okay? And then it's going to oxidize the viruses. It's actually anything biological or chemical, so viruses, bacteria, et cetera. Anywhere air currents travel within that environment. So that space will never be more sanitized or disinfected than after this treatment. So by the time that people come in the morning, ozone has roughly about a 20-minute half-life, which is reduced drastically, again, by temperature, humidity, air movement, et cetera, surface areas. So by the time they come back in at, call it 7, 8, 9 in the morning, it's converted back into clean, breathable oxygens. Ozone is O3, oxygen is O2.
Right.
What happens when it actually is oxidizing that pollutant, that third atom molecule attaches to that pollutant. It's called cell lysing. Basically breaks down that cell wall and neutralizes it, kills it. And that process, that third atom molecule breaks off, and then that other molecule becomes the oxygen again, because it's O2, because the third atom molecule basically left it to kill the other molecular structure.
So it dissipates relatively quickly after the treatment, and then
it does.
So basically, we're talking about all the nooks and crannies. Okay, this is
all of them that you couldn't clean with normal cleaning methodologies.
And the other thing that I've been using the word is a green disinfectant, because now that we have such a focus on disinfection in the offices, if we use chemicals throughout the day repeatedly, I have a concern long term of what that exposure is going to be for a workplace environment. Okay, we're talking about an absolute perfect disinfectant that has no residual effect at all. And then we had mentioned about the air filtration being complementary to the air disinfection, right?
Yes.
Hand in glove. What I'm trying to do is to provide a complete solution, because the dental office is going to have to look different. And you just fit the bill. Your passion comes through. This is your niche. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to recommend vendors that are accessible. I just don't want people going to eBay and buying stuff from China, because there's junk out there. You fit the bill exactly on who I want to represent this Phoenix Dental project, and I'm so excited to have found you. And I'm looking forward to the other thing I want to mention to the audience too is I'm doing this at home. Okay, I ordered one for home, because I think this is the next generation of being protected at home and at work. So
absolutely. We're of the opinion that ultimately everybody should own one of these things, just like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
It should be a critical tool that everybody has.
The other thing I'm looking forward to experiencing is what you describe as the fresh smell, like after a rainstorm with lightning. There's a very distinct smell of ozonate ozonated air.
Yeah. So just so people understand that when they come back into the dental office in the morning, it is going to smell different.
Yeah.
So they will recognize that extra ultra fresh smell, like your clothes that were on a clothesline after, hanging out there. It's a very different smell, and they can be rest assured that it is really sanitized and safe for them to be in that environment. It's amazing. It really is amazing.
Well, Brooks, I'm so pleased to have met you. Great people in my life the last 2 or 3 weeks to help dentists, to help everyone. So I look forward to working with you. You'll have a dedicated page on the website. People can reach out to you directly. That's the other thing too, is that the resources that I'm bringing real people with real businesses that are accessible, right? So
yes,
thank you so much for being part of this.
I appreciate it. Thank you much for your time, and glad to be a part of it.